Hello and welcome to week 23, piece 46 of the Wall of Stitches Crochet Along. And for this piece, we're going to be using the Crossbill stitch. This is a really interestingly textured stitch it's just a really interesting texture. So for this piece, you're going to need a foundation chain of 67. So for the crossbill stitch, we're going to start by making a double crochet in the third chain from our hook. And this double crochet counts as the first stitch of our row. So I'm going to pop a stitch marker in there. Okay, so now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in the next chain we're going to make a double crochet and then chain 1. So now we're going to go back. So the 2 skip chains, we're going to go back to the first one, so the one next to the double crochet. You're going to insert your hook into the chain and make a double crochet. So you're working in front of the previous double crochet. Okay, so we still have a skip chain between those 2 double crochets. This one isn't worked into. We're only working into the first skip chain, and you work that one in front of the last one we made. And then you make a double crochet in the next stitch. So we've already used this chain. This is the next chain here. And work a double crochet into there. So that is the crossbill stitch. You have this cross made up of 2 double crochet crossing in front of the other with a double crochet on each side. And that together makes the crossbill stitch. Okay, so we've made that double crochet. Now we skip the next 2 stitches, make a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and then we go back to the first skip stitch. So skip this one, go straight to that first one, work into the chain. So we're not working behind the front one. You want to scoop up that chain, and in front of the next stitch we're going to make a double crochet. Okay, so when you go back to that skip stitch, you're always working it in front of the previous stitch. Then once you made that, you're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. So this one is where we made the previous double crochet, that's the one behind what we just made. You skip to the next unused stitch and make a double crochet. Try that again. So always work into the next unused stitch, and that finishes the repeat. Okay, so the repeat of this stitch is skip 2 stitches to make a double crochet, chain 1, go back to the first skip stitch, make a double crochet working in front of the first one, and then in the next unused stitch make a double crochet. And you repeat that all the way across the row. And so your last stitch of the row is going to be a double crochet. So skip the next 2 stitches, make a double crochet, chain 1, go back to the first skipped stitch over here. So just scoop up that chain, working in front of the last double crochet. You make your next double crochet, and then in the next unused stitch you make a double crochet. So that is also my last stitch of the row, and that is row 1 of the crossbill stitch. Okay, so row 2, we're going to turn and chain 1, and we're going to make a double crochet turning chain in the first stitch. Just grab a stitch marker. So we're going to be offsetting our stitches a bit. So we're going to skip the next stitch, and now we're going to work into the chain space. So this is between our cross stitches. And into there we're going to make a double crochet. Okay. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, which is this one and this one. And we're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. So that double crochet goes into this first double crochet of the next set of cross stitches here. How to work that. Chain 1. And now we're going to go back to the first skip stitch, which is the last stitch of a pair of cross stitches that are below. Okay, so we are completely offsetting them. They are not aligned. So again, we're working in front of the last stitch. Oh no, I just made. I got around it. Excuse me. Let's try that again. So working into that stitch and working in front of the last double crochet, not around it like I just did. There is your next cross stitch, and it sits between the cross stitches in the row below. Now we go to the chain 1 space. So that's where we made our next double crochet. The chain 1 space is here. Make a double crochet in that stitch, and that completes your repeat. So there's our double crochet, there's our 2 cross stitches, and our next double crochet. So the double crochets are always made in the chain 1 space, and the cross stitches are made in the last and first stitches of the cross stitches in the row below. So this is in the middle. Okay, so the double crochet always in the chain space, the one that stands on its own, and the cross stitches always in between. Okay, so our next repeat. So we made a double crochet in the chain 1 space, skip the next 2 stitches, and in the next stitch, which is in one of the arms of the cross stitch, make a double crochet. Chain 1. Go back to the first skip stitch, which is the last arm of the last cross stitch in the row below, make a double crochet, and then into the chain 1 space, make another double crochet. And that's your repeat across the row. So now we have 2 stitches left. Okay, when you have 2 stitches left, you skip the next stitch, and in the last stitch of the row, you're going to make 2 double crochet, both in the same stitch. And that's row 2 of the crossbill. So onto row 3, you're going to turn, chain 1, and we're going to make a double crochet turning chain in the first stitch. Just make that my stitch marker. Okay, so essentially here we're going to be doing a repeat of row 1, but of course we're working into the stitches, not chains. So we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and make a double crochet in the chain 1 space. Hold that. We skip the next 2 stitches and make a double crochet. Then chain 1. Now we go back to the first skip stitch and make a double crochet in front of the last one. And then into the chain 1 space, make a double crochet. So the repeat is the same for all rows for this. It's just how you start and end each row that's different. And we always have, again, those standalone double crochets in the chain 1 space. So the crossbill stitches of row 3 will match up with the crossbill stitches in row 1. Okay, so after our standalone double crochet, we skip the next 2 stitches, make a double crochet in the next one. Oops. So make a double crochet, chain 1, go back to the first skip stitch and make a double crochet in front of your last one. And then go to the chain 1 space, which is here, and make a double crochet. Okay. So we now have 3 stitches left. We're going to make another cross stitch. So skip the next 2 stitches and into your last stitch of the row, make a double crochet, chain 1, go back to the first skip stitch and make a double crochet in front of your last stitch. Then make a double crochet in the last stitch of the row. So this is the same stitch you've already made a double crochet. You're also going to make a double crochet into this one. So that last stitch has 2 stitches in it. And that's the crossbill stitch. So to complete the crossbill piece, you're going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 until you have 7 rows in total. Once you finish row 7, you can cut off and weave in your ends, and then it's time to add your border. So for this piece, you're going to make a single crochet in every stitch across the top and bottom to give you 65 stitches on each edge, and then down the side, you're going to make 2 single crochet into the side of every row, and that will give you 14 stitches down each side. Add your extra stitch in each corner for the turn, and that'll be round 1, and then go ahead and add rounds 2 and 3 as well. So once you've finished round 3, cut off and weave in your ends, and then you'll be joining this piece to our previous piece, the annoying stitch. So that's week 23 complete. If you have any questions, please do come over to our Facebook group, Froggity Frogs Ribbit and Stitch. There you can ask all your questions, join in the chat, and please do show us your blankets as well. I would love to see how you're getting on. So I'll be back next week for week 24, which is when we're going to finish our final 2 pieces of the blanket. So I shall see you next week. Bye for now.